this one will make some folks mad. And I want to preface it by saying, again, this is not my list. Okay, this is not my personal opinion. I am merely giving you the ranking that was laid out by the consultants to private equity here. And it was a CNBC article about private equity in college athletics and the value of different schools, how they basically, what the potential they have is, according to private equity. If they're looking at your school as an investment, this is what they think is the most valuable. Now, the Big 12, as you might expect, the first team that's going to be ranked on the list here is at 33. 33 overall. So there are 32 more valuable entities and schools, according to private equity, in college sports. That's the unfortunate reality when you've got the bloated Big 10 and SEC combining for 34 schools, and then you've got a handful of schools in the ACC as well that are in that mix. Let me give you a little background before I get to the list and before people start getting angry, getting in their feelings. The information comes from Jason Belzer, who is the publisher of Athletic Director U. He has advised universities on NIL deals, and he's now doing the same for athletic departments who are looking into private equity and private capital. So Athletic Director U has an expansive database of college athletic program financials and information. Here's what the list is tracking. The list is reflective of the current enterprise value of each program, starting with a base revenue. Okay, base revenue. Then they adjust for multiple variables, including conference affiliation. All right, so the Big 12 is already just at a disadvantage before you even start there, because they're going to be considered to be in the third or fourth most valuable conference, not in the Big 10 or SEC. Conference affiliation, estimated NIL spend. So how much are you spending in the NIL game? School subsidies. How much are you taking from the university to fund your athletic department? Number of alumni. Do you have a big alumni base? And then it just says other factors that would catalyze future revenue growth and profitability. So think what conference you're in, how much you're spending on NIL. Are you taking subsidies from the university? Do you have a big alumni base? These are things that are all being considered here. If we're going by conference, Big 12 checks in at roughly $6.7 billion total, which is $420 million per school in terms of the valuation. That's behind the ACC's at $10 billion total, which is $558 per school, so $420 to $558. Again, ACC has bigger brands at the top of that conference that are going to make a difference there. Now you get all the way up to the Big 10 is at $734 per school, and the SEC almost pulls off doubling up the Big 12. They're at $832 million per school, according to these private equity valuations. Now, I'm going to make you go in reverse order. Number 70. Well, first, Houston didn't even make the list. I'll say that. I did not see Houston on this list at all. So do with that what you will. I'm not going to dunk on Houston or say it, but that Houston did not make the list. UCF checks in at number 70. UCF checks in at number 70. Their valuation was $181 million, which, again, well below the Big 12 average of $420. UCF does have a really large alumni base. That will definitely help them there, but not getting a lot of love in all the other categories. Right in front of them, number 69 is Cincinnati, and you can kind of see there, I mean, Cincinnati's got $216 million here, so they're almost, is that 30? I guess that's like 35. 35 million more just with one spot above it. So UCF and Houston by far two lowest there in the Big 12, and then Cincinnati, and then BYU is not too far away actually, which is very surprising to me. So that group of four that was added in terms of just valuation here, not very high in the league. 68 is Arizona State, which that seemed pretty surprising to me. Arizona State at 68. Now, I wondered about, it talked about subsidies. Arizona State has a massive subsidy. They got $51.7 million. Jamie Pollard, Iowa State's athletic director, had a tweet about that had some people fired up within the last week or two. So Arizona State at 68 with a valuation of $279 million. BYU 64 with a valuation of $357. just with the amount of resources BYU has, with the national brand that they have because of the LDS Church, that really stunned me. I would have thought you would see a lot of potential in there if you are a private equity organization. Like BYU now, they've always had the resources, but now they have free reign to just deploy said resources. I don't know. Someone would have to explain that one a little bit better to me. But they are down in front of only Arizona State, Cincinnati, UCF, and Houston. West Virginia is at number 60, just about right on the average. In fact, just a little bit above it at $430 million. So you've got a pretty big jump here from BYU to West Virginia and everybody else. K-State is at number 57 at $444 million. Utah is at number 56, $468 million. Okay, so remember that the next time that a Utah fan tries to tell you that they're Big Ten bound, all right, according to these private equity valuations, which they're not people who are going to mess around. They are about making money. Like that's a stone cold, we've got to make money type of world. They're not going to be lying about anything to try and preserve anybody's feelings here, man. They've got Utah below average in the Big 12, not in terms of the number, but just in terms of where they're ranked. Colorado just in front of them at 55, basically the same as Utah there, $470 million. I guess we're not getting a Coach Prime boost there for Colorado right now. Iowa State at 48, higher than I thought. Iowa State 48, $492 million. Oklahoma State at 46. They are at an even cool $500 million there for the Pokes. Baylor, another one that was mildly surprising to me. Baylor at 44, just because I don't think of Baylor as being a place that has a massive alumni base. I know that Dave Aranda had to really make a push for them to step up the NIL game to get that sort of commitment there. There seem to be a couple of factors working against Baylor here that they mentioned, but Baylor valued at $513 million. Now, Baylor also has a recent national championship in basketball and a recent-ish, at least, 12-win season in football. So, they can clearly compete and hack it at a high level. Arizona, fourth in the Big 12 at number 41 on this list, $532 million for the valuation. TCU, number 39, $542 for TCU in that valuation. And again, alumni base makes me wonder a bit here. Alumni base gave me some pause there, but TCU's football program's been very valuable. Large metro that they are in. Seems like they're doing a good job with the NIL commitment. Kansas at number 37, $553. I think Kansas basketball, such a valuable commodity here that it makes a lot of sense that they would be pretty high up here. So they're not having problems with NIL spend, any of that. Texas Tech. I should have done a drum roll before that, but Red Raider fans, I'm sure, have figured out by now that they are number one in the Big 12. And by a really substantial margin, actually. Texas Tech is number 33 on the list, $619 million. So almost a full $200 million above the average in the Big 12. And Texas Tech, this has to be keeping in mind, what's going on with Cody Campbell and how much he can bankroll and what he has bankrolled now with NIL and this portal class and all this. Texas Tech, number one in the Big 12. The school that is throwing around all the cash now is the school that private equity says it would throw around the cash for and invest in. So Texas Tech is your best Big 12 investment right now if you're somebody that's looking to come in and make a couple dollars off of the league. So congratulations to the Red Raiders. It's certainly all coming up green in Lubbock these days. We'll see if that means it's all going to come up with trophies. That's what Texas Tech wants to follow, but they've certainly stepped up with the money.